This is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
This is AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Alex Crusoe, and I'm down to dunk.
It's like baby bottle pop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is Adam Flagler, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, it's Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Cason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
I can't spell Lucas. Hey, how do you spell Lucas? How do you spell Lucas?
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Nikola Topic, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Dylan Jones, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
And there's probably like 50 to 75 Beanie Babies.
Give me like your top 3 Pokemon.
Brother, I can't even name.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
Sometimes the way his brain works is it leaves a lot to be desired.
This is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
Charmander.
Yeah.
Charmander. Are you more of a Charmeleon guy?
Charmeleon.
This is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Schlecht. You know what
Schlecht?
it means? Yeah.
That means like bad.
It means bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, it was a good interview, so it wasn't bad.
J-Dub, year 3, and I'm down to dunk for the 3rd time. Thank you.
Ooh, welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Before I get to my good friend Jay Smith, I want to tell you about 2 other friends of mine, Aaron and Drew Reese of Shelter Insurance. You can contact Aaron 405-773-5500 or Drew 405-478-7714. If you need an insurance agent that can help you navigate severe weather or anything going on with your property, Aaron and Drew are 2 guys that you should give a call or text to today. Listen, last year, Shelter Insurance ranked number 1 on the Forbes list for the world's best auto insurance companies. That's pretty good. Number 1 is really good. And right here in Oklahoma, they've been ranked number 1 for customer satisfaction by J.D. Power 6 out of the last 7 years. But listen, what you really need to know is these are good guys that you can trust, and huge sports fans too, huge Thunder fans. So if you would like an awesome insurance agent that is also a huge Thunder fan, Aaron and Drew Reese are the ones to call. Support the people that support Down to Dunk. With me on a Friday morning, a remote fry pod, minus L-Man, minus Tayshawn, is Jay Smith. Jay, what's up, dude?
It's Jay.
It
is probably a fitting, almost final preseason pod or off-season pod, I guess, technically still. But the boys held down the fort last week. Taylor and Luke. It was a very I think the world needed a podcast with just the 2 of them and you. And so here we are. We're going to talk a lot about a preseason game that was fun to watch because one Shea Gilgeous-Alexander played, and we'll see what happens. So it's Andrew's trying to squeeze in a little trip away for a minute, and can you show people your background, or we need to leave that alone?
Yeah, no, I can show people.
Look at this. This is the good life right there, man. Oh,
there it is. Yeah,
those beaches should not be as good as they are. They're just stunning.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's fall break, and we're actually celebrating that Amy doesn't have any cancer in her body anymore. And so that's kind of what we're here for and why we got away. It's our fall break. We usually go to the beach during the summer, but couldn't get away because she had surgery this summer. And so we squeezed this trip in right before the NBA season. So, a lot of gratitude. And the beach is unbelievable. We didn't realize when we booked this last minute that there was also a thing called Shrimp Fest happening here in Gulf Shores. We walked down to Shrimp Fest last night, and Shrimp Fest is what it is. I mean, it's like it's a lot of shrimp, live music, and like all this stuff going on. It's probably like a mile and a half down the beach from where we're at, so we just walked down there last night. But
the amount of attempts that I would make at the Forrest Gump, like whole Bubba and him conversation, it would probably be to the point where my family would disown me.
Yeah, the problem is like I'm probably the only one that has those lines in my head, and so I'm just asking my kids like, Have you ever been on a real shrimping boat, Archie? And I just want him to say back to me, no, I've been on a real big boat, though, but it's just, it never happened. I did ask him that many times, hoping for a response. But
I'm saying, I think at some point they'd be like, okay, can we just go back to the beach? What are we doing?
Why are you asking me this, Dad?
Yeah,
anyways, like the sunset was unbelievable. Like just it was unreal.
Did you drive down there?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like 12,
13.
Yeah. It's not bad. Jay's looking at me like I'm an insane person.
I've done that drive a couple times, and I'm not doing it again. Last time I got down, it was like, and we went down to the Destin area, and I landed. Long story short, I was like, there were some difficulties with the plane. It kind of freaked my family out. And I drove overnight there, and I drove back like 3 days later after planning on just being on an airplane. I said, listen, I don't think this is actually true, but I said, I'd rather have died in a plane crash than
no.
Anyway.
No.
True, but it's how I felt in the moment. But,
hey, listen, something else that I'm feeling right now is that you guys should all join us this next Wednesday, live bold predictions pod. It's at the Loom in OKC. The address is 619 West Main Street. So just listen, we all have smartphones. Just search the Loom, Lume, in your phone. There's tons of parking across the street. They have an actual parking lot for this place, and it will be empty by the time that you guys are arriving, which is great. We want to make this as convenient as possible. We want to pack this place with dunkers. Show up. It's going to be super fun. I'm hoping to have some guests there with us as well.
What's the food and drink sitch?
TBD, but it is happening. We are going to have some local people helping us out with those things.
Do we need to make a pitch here? If you listen to us and
listen, if you have a food truck and you're wanting to serve some dunkers, just hit me up.
Yeah. Or your catering company, if you just want to roast a pig.
If you listen,
whatever you want to do,
we can bury a pig and roast it in the parking lot if you want.
There are tons of options to cook. That's all I'm saying. So this venue is just south of the Civic Center. So if you're familiar with Oklahoma City, it's south of the Civic Center and then to the east of Bar Abalata, which is a popular bar here in Oklahoma City. And so it should be a lot of fun. For a while, they had the best burgers.
It's insane.
And for my flavor, for my preference of smash burger in Oklahoma City, the best now goes to the guys at Goose. And I haven't actually even been at Goose, but they are also part of the Stone Cloud Brewery guys. Yeah. And sometimes they will set up a little griddle station outside of Stone Cloud and smash burgers. That's how they actually kind of started this idea of the Goose.
Mm-hmm.
And their burgers are the best in the city.
I think my friend John, who's helping us get the Loom, would love for you to say that, because that's one of his places. So it's great.
It's the best, man. It's genuinely the best. We probably should do a podcast at the Goose. Let's go. I'm heading there right now.
I think we could do that. I think we can make that happen. Okay. The Thunder played the Hornets last night. First game back in OKC. It looked pretty packed for a preseason game, I would say. The crowd was pretty loud in the first quarter. Not so much throughout the rest of the game, but
it was fun. It was like you showed up to a preseason game. Listen, if I would have shown up to a preseason game and seen the game that took place in in Charleston, South Carolina, I would ask probably for a refund. I don't want to go to I know it's preseason, but it's like to spend my night and money and all that stuff to go to a game and watch Ousmane Dieng have the best game of his career would not be high on my list of let's do that. But last night you had Shea, you had iHeart, you had Dort, you had Caruso. Kaysen started. It was good. You got some real good minutes from Joe and Wiggs and Jay Will, and it felt more like actual basketball. And I think the reward of making that your priority on a Thursday night here in Oklahoma City is the fact that you got to be reminded about why, number one, this team is the defending world champ, and then just how genuinely unbelievable Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is. There were so many drives and finishes that he made that I just I just was like, there's just like, I honestly forgot. Like, I forgot how much I love this team, even in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
And just as a OU fan, like I've gotten really absorbed in OU for this year. And I think I mentioned that before. And so it's like, I've been kind of out on like paying attention. And then I'm turning it on last night and I just sit in my living room and I'm genuinely like a automatic, like subconscious grin just crossed my face as I'm watching, just remembering, oh my, this is why I think there's a lot of media that even does this over the course of the season where we just convince ourselves like, well, I mean, it's probably like, if things didn't go their way, it's kind of, this team wasn't really that good. It's like, no, actually, I forgot they were a 68 win team or whatever it was, and
won 68 games.
And Shea had one of the greatest seasons for a guard in the history of the NBA, and I just watched him last night, just smiling. Just it's here, like we're 11 days from the actual kickoff of the season when the Rockets come to town. They hang the banner. That night's going to be a ball. Like. I was giddy for the first half of the game, and I eventually turned it off because preseason at some point I'm like, okay, I can do other things, and but Shea was phenomenal. Ihart and Caruso were their kind of connection 1-2 game was just a lot of fun to watch. I thought Lou Dort was going to try to set some sort of record for the most 3 shot in a quarter in a preseason game, and then you watch just the contrast between them and the Hornets, and it's like, it just doesn't even feel like they're playing in the same league.
No,
but Shea was really special, and then Joe was 5 of 8. He hit one that felt like from half court just with ease, which is hard because I was pretty. I probably wasn't that down on him, but a lot of fans, a lot of kind of narrative around Joe was that he couldn't really or shouldn't really even play in that later in the playoffs because he just kind of became pretty non-existent in a lot of ways, but just kind of asserting himself in these because he's been really good in most of the time he's played in this preseason so far. And so just a reminder, they have an unbelievable deep roster too. And then Barnhizer, you're right. Like I didn't know anything about him when he was drafted, and you're like, Jay, you're going to love Barnhizer. And I'm like, yeah.
Brooksy.
I'm watching him and Caruso on the floor together. I'm like, that just seems like a terrible experience for the other team.
It would be awful. Especially whenever you're a Hornet and like your only mission is just to get buckets. Like I'm just trying to get buckets. Like,
yes.
Can you just stop for a second? Cause I'm just trying to get buckets. It's kind of how it had to have felt for them. Yeah. Another highlight that was just unreal. This Cason Wallace shot. This end of the shot clock. He's like out of bounds. I thought he was out of bounds. But he gets the ball, throws it up behind the backboard, and it has to go over the shot clock, and then it somehow goes in, and it counts. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I'm really kind of mad that it happened in the preseason because it doesn't count as anything real. But I will always remember that. It went right over the new shot clocks are these like Tissot shot clocks that look like watches, I guess, is what they're supposed to look like a watch face because they're circular. I couldn't stop looking at those either. But the ball goes up and over the Tissot shot clock and goes in.
You know what they appreciate is the plug that you just gave them.
I know.
Tissot
shout out.
shot clock.
I just couldn't stop reading it and thinking about it. They've done a great job. They've obviously done a great job. I woke up this morning thinking about the Tissot shot.
It's like one of the most brilliant. Like I'm trying to think of like whether other ad or marketing things that happen in a game that are so naturally perfect.
Yeah,
there's not a lot that I could say more than a Tissot shot clock.
I know. I can't stop saying it. Obviously, I think I've said it like 4 times in like these 2 sentences. But yeah, that shot was really fun. It must have been really fun to be in the arena and just be like what in the world just happened there? I think I rewound it like 4 times.
If you've ever played basketball and tried that shot, you'll understand like it is almost impossible.
It's hard.
Especially the way that the angle that he shot it from, the height going over the Tissot shot clock that he had to do. It was just stupid. Like really, really stupid. And they of course had a ball after, like just partying together like they always do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was fun watching the reaction too. Like that made it just as fun. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, no, it's good to see this team back and in front of the home crowd and like reminding everybody of who they are, even though there's no Chet, which is obviously a massive piece of what they do.
Is there anything? So it's hard to discern, and I'm not paying enough attention to kind of the tea leaf stuff of this, where it's like, is there anything with Chet that is more than just like, hey, some guys play preseason, some guys don't, and some guys play more games? Say, what about AJ Mitchell?
Yeah, AJ turned his ankle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that yet. And then obviously Topic's surgery and Kenrich's surgery, Thomas Sorber surgery, and then I haven't seen Brandon Carlson yet. I've been waiting for that, but
we'll see some BC as the preseason goes along. We'll see Chet as well, but I'm glad that they're doing it like this. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, Chet played every single preseason game. And I think some of it was like he really wanted to get on the court, wanted to kind of prove that he could, get on the court, stay on the court, and he played every single game that he was available for. Even games where it was like, man, I don't know that he necessarily should be playing in this game, or he like could have like missed a game just due to like being a little bit banged up. Not that he was ever like truly injured, but like he wanted to play every game. And I think that this approach with him is probably a good one because he's in good shape. He feels good. I talked to him about that on media day, and he feels stronger. He's ready.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything going on there. It does suck that we don't see any AJ though, because that was somebody that I was really excited to watch.
Yeah, and it sucks for him. Like, do you remember? Gosh, was this 3 years ago? Like JRE coming into, and I think for AJ it's very different, but JRE was coming into, I think it was that first playoff run. Yeah. And we had a lot of expectations for JRE, and he did something like this too, where he just had some sort of injury in training camp that just stuck with him. And so J Will got a ton of minutes early.
Yep.
And it just never looked back. Like J Will was the better fit, the better player at this point. And it really, like, you don't want one of those injuries to kind of hold you back. Now, the only way I think that would have really been impactful for AJ Mitchell is if Topic would have been healthy and gotten a lot of those kind of like spot point guard minutes. But I am also intrigued as we kind of look at this. If J-Dub, this is where it's like, J-Dub's going to be fine. Hold him out till Christmas if you want to. I don't care. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
But what's kind of fun for me to think of in that is what guys does it give opportunities to? Because I think, like, just watching last night is you could get more Queso, like Kaysen could be a Kaysen Dort, Jet, iHeart lineup. It also could be a Caruso, like Caruso starting, just sliding him in with Dub, and that's the kind of fun stuff where it's like, yeah, let's just see what else this team can look like and do.
Wiggins too.
Yeah, Wiggs will be another one that'll be in there a lot.
As just like a scorer
this preseason.
Yeah.
So I don't know that, and that's why I'm like, hey, you know what? Take your time.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what his readiness will be like. Before the game, he was shooting just left-handed. I don't know that he like can't shoot right-handed, but he wasn't doing that pre-game, and so.
Have we discussed how a J-Dub that is he's already really good with both hands, but somebody who has spent an entire summer shooting, dribbling, passing with this non-dominant hand, I just feel like that probably will be beneficial for what he can do.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those like simple things where an injury could all of a sudden make this guy somehow even better offensively.
Yeah, he talks about it. He's talked about how it.
Yeah, I saw the video too. Yeah, but
that it could help him, like, be a blessing in disguise, kind of thing. So
that's
it's
scary.
Yeah, I mean
not for us, the NBA really.
We're talking about a guy who made All NBA last year, a guy who's an All-Star, All Defensive Second Team, scored 40 in the NBA Finals on a bum wrist. Being able to get better, like that's, I kind of expect him to be better with his left hand because of it and the kind of worker that he is. So, yeah, I mean,
also he's only in his fourth year.
Yeah,
forgot about that too. Only in his fourth year.
I don't think, I remember like the night of the draft when we were talking about these guys. I don't think you could even get away with trying to say like what the reality is of J-Dub on draft night. If you would have said, hey, I think that this is possible for him, before he reaches his second contract, that he could be All NBA, All Defense, be a guy that can score 40 in the NBA Finals. I think that's what this guy can be. Like, you couldn't even write like a fan fiction like thing about him that could come close to it, that would have felt real at the time.
It'd be like the most Homer, like, I remember in my mind, and I might have even said it somewhere, is he had a little bit of his offensive game that reminded me of kind of the way Harden could slither and kind of that, like how he was able to get to the basket.
Yeah.
And that was I was just so early in even looking at this guy. Like, I didn't do any of the work that you and Mikey do in the summer, looking at draft picks and spending that time really studying him. But I remember there were some of them, I was like, I'm intrigued by this guy, but he played at Santa Clara. Like, what does it look like in the competition that he played? Like, there's all these caveats with him, and it was just so unknown. But not the thing that's been the most impressive about Dub, that the scoring part, the offensive side of it, I think is kind of a perfect complement for Shea. But his, number one, physicality. That's the thing I didn't realize, is how like just sturdy, strong, his ability to defend really 1 through 5. I had no idea that that's something he could do. Right. And then just his, I don't know, like that kind of intensity that he brings, the willingness to do whatever is necessary. There's so many things that have to go into the perfect second person.
Yeah.
That is hard for guys to do. Because Dub, like, we've talked about this too much, but it's like, if Dub really was on a Hornets or he may not be the same guy, because you go to an organization that doesn't help you actualize the best version of yourself. But if insert Wizards, I mean, there's so many teams that he could be on right now where he would be the guy. And that's why it's just unique to have these three guys with Chet as well, that are just willing to play their role on a team that's going to be successful for a full decade.
Yeah.
Like, highest level of NBA for a decade.
Yeah, he is like the perfect Scottie Pippen player to Shea's Michael Jordan. Like, it's a great comp. And also somehow, like, the Bulls never had a player like the level that Chet can get to too, which should be like the really scary thing for people. And when there are some people that really think, like Bobby Marks, I saw like predicted they're going to win over 70 games. Like, that's cool. But there are a lot of people that when you talk to them are like, yeah, I don't know about the Thunder. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it again. I don't know if they can get past round 2, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think people quite get how good this team is and how good they're going to get over the next few years. It's crazy. And I think that Shea in particular, last night, just getting to watch him again, I don't think people quite grasp the level that this guy's at. Even though he's like had all these accolades, and we just watched him win Finals MVP. And I know he is like top of a lot of lists, like he's second on a lot of lists, but the way that I've heard some people talk about him, I don't know that people quite grasp how good this guy is.
No, and honestly, I'm not sure I do either sometimes. Like,
yeah,
until I watch this moment, like even just simple, stupid things where the whole game just feels like different for him. Like, it's just different. I remember Jordan mentioning something like, when you're in one of those heaters, like the basket looks like it's 4 times bigger than it is. Sometimes I feel like that's how Shea feels about the lane, or his finishes are just special.
Yeah.
His ability to get where he wants to go and to finish with just such ease and beauty. I just want to make sure, like, the more we amplify this in our conversations for Thunder fans that have been, we've been watching the Thunder for 18 years now, and talking about it for, since 2013, and
12.
I don't want to, 12, and I don't want to be in it. Yeah, so 12-13 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did we cause the Harden trade? But
like, God, do you hear
we gotta
these
get
guys?
him out here.
Do you hear these guys? Like that, we've got to get James out of here before they hear these guys.
But I just don't want to. I don't want to miss out. Like, I don't want to. I think most Thunder fans realize that we're watching something that is special, and I just don't want to ever, like, just be kind of take this for granted or not realize what's happening right in front of us. And it's just pretty spectacular. One of the things, like you were talking about, that I think is just an exercise in our mental thoughts. Okay, so I think most people would think about Dub and Chad and be like these dudes are in their mid-20s to late 20s, just like Shea. Like, I think that I think the narrative maybe is convincing themselves that they're in that same level. So they're actually in their prime, whatever. Like, there's not much more that they could become or do. Would you say the same thing about that Jabari Smith Jr.? Like, when you think of Jabari Smith Jr., the narrative around him, he's still a young player in the NBA, correct? Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey, Shaden Sharp. Like, all of these guys are, like, quote unquote, like, continuing projects.
Yeah.
Even Dyson Daniels, like, last year was his first year to actually feel like a real NBA player. Jeremy Sohan, Johnny Davis, does he still exist? I don't know, actually. And then, of course,
he's not in the league. Of course, Oos.
Yeah, but you have all of these guys that we talk about with such a, like, oh, yeah, these dudes are super early in their career, and, they still got some time to develop. Like, Walker Kessler was in that same draft.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about him like he's, for an up and coming big, it's like, I think there's this, like, we've convinced ourselves, especially for Dub, maybe Chet's a little different, but for Dub, it's like, I think people are thinking he's older than he is. Like, he's further along in what he could become than he actually is, which is, you're right. Like, for him and Chet, it should be pretty scary for, all of the moves that the Warriors make or the Nuggets make. And it's like, for Dub and for Chet, one more year of development is as equally game-changing for the league as adding Cam Johnson or Bruce Brown back to the Nuggets, or I don't even know who plays for the Warriors now, Al Horford and Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know what those guys do, but in Kuminga 1 year ahead of them, yeah.
Kuminga was a city draft.
So we still talk about Kuminga like that, where it's like, he's got a lot of potential.
Still that potential there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. I think it's a really good point, because when you do think about Jabari, he is certainly disappointed, I would say, going number 3 in that draft, but there's still like this, what if he becomes this? What if he becomes that? But yeah, with Chet and with J-Dub, they got 2 of the best 3 players in the draft. Wherever you want to put Paolo, like, they got 2 of the best 3 players in the draft. And it's like, and it's not really even close, because all these other guys have such big deficiencies in their games. When you talk about, like, Shaden Sharp or Ben Mathurin and what they need to do to get to the next level, Jaden Ivey, there's tons of question marks. Keegan Murray is plateaued, but I don't think that's his fault. I think it's the Kings' fault. Jalen Duren, any of these other guys, they are thought of as young guys because they are. And, like, the development that is going to happen with Chet and Dub, I think, will be surprising. And the thing is that once these guys get to, like, 27, 28 years old, like, your body just changes. Like, their bodies are just going to change. Like, that just happens. And so they're going to get stronger. There's going to be those, like, side by side pictures of them, at media day. in whenever they're 28 years old back to whenever they were 24. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is the same guy, kind of thing. Like that's going to happen with both of these guys. And the good news for Thunder fans is like they have these guys locked up through that. So it's incredible. The Thunder are in a ridiculous spot right now, having these three players locked up. They all really want to be here. They all love the organization. They love playing together. And it's now like the team's job to like keep it that way,
Yeah.
And so as long as those guys are happy, it's unreal.
If there's any organization that you would trust to do that, there's only a few of them on the level of Oklahoma City's that you would. And it's, I don't know, you're right. Like it is truly, it's an unreal time to be watching a team grow up in front of us. And
it
should just be a lot of fun, I'm grateful, at least on a personal level, like having the championship behind us, it makes this season far less stressful for me to watch.
I know.
Like every game will be fun. Every day is just a gift,
There is there's an alternate reality that would be so painful. This offseason would have been so rough if somehow they lost
Game 7 at home to the Pacers
Indy, and you're just okay. Like everything is meaningless. Is kind of how it would feel, until they get back to the playoffs.
Really watch it until like May.
Yeah, even think about like a Cavs fan. They have this incredible regular season, and then for 2 years in a row, as like a really good team, they get stomped out in the playoffs earlier than they should have. And now, this is a really good team with a lot of really good players, and everybody's looking at the Cavs like, who cares? Prove it in the playoffs. We don't care what you do in the regular season.
That's what's so unique about this Thunder team, is that's been roughly the narrative for every team that was trying to get to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Right. Like even Jordan back in the day, I was like, can you get through the Pistons? Okay, we'll prove in the playoffs. LeBron forever was proven in the playoffs.
Oh, Bron. Oh my gosh. Bron for forever.
Every narrative around these guys is remember that before the Nuggets won theirs, it was like, there were conversations in many, many media spheres about Jokic is not a playoff guy. Like,
he's too soft. He's
insert thing. And so it's like the fact that that's behind the Thunder,
and
there's no way that they don't feel a relief of the pressure.
Oh,
and sure, maybe at some point when you get to the playoffs, repeating becomes a pressure as well. But I don't imagine that would be really any sort of stressor for them.
It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like anything that they're pressing about. Like I think that they like being like in the brief moments that I like kind of like get to be on the inside, like talking to the players or coaches or whatever, in these like small brief moments, like they really do try to like be in the moment and like try their best to not make it like this whole big thing, or even like make it all about championships, or it's like, oh, we have to do this giant thing. It's more like, hey, we come to work every day. We're going to get a little bit better. We're going to try to be cohesive. It's just all these culture type things that are happening inside the organization that seem really cheesy and seem really, I don't know, like this can't be the reality. But like, I can tell you, like from what I see, like they have done such a good job of developing a culture inside the team that I think any organization, no matter what you're doing, would love to emulate. No matter how you're doing things. I find myself like taking things that they do and like making it part of some of the things that I do, just because it's like, wow, like that's brilliant. It's really cool to watch.
It feels like, as somebody like it's just hard to kind of emulate them in a lot of ways, because it takes a particularly wired brain like Sam Presti to drive a culture like that. The attention to detail, the intentionality, like 100%. All of those things. You have to have somebody like him that is that. I mean, you know, the story from Boomtown that's just so famous is the Sam Presti walking into the practice facility and turning all the basketballs so that Spalding faces the same direction on every single ball.
Yeah.
Like it's almost this like, you know, like this attention to detail that if in any other sphere, we'd be like, too much.
Yeah,
Too
exactly.
much. And it may be sometimes it's too much, but it's like, it's just that intentionality that Sam brings to leadership that is, and that's for Sam, he was the one, like out of all of the people that had that narrative of, well, do it in the playoffs or create a team that's going to do X, Y, Z. Like,
he's the one.
He was the one. And because it was like the final accolade in who truly is a Sam Presti, if not the best GM in all of sports, one of the top 2 or 3, unquestionably. And so to be able to have this now also as part of your resume, it cements his kind of legacy as one of the greatest minds in the history of NBA, like as far as leadership levels.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at anything that would be I don't foresee Presti leaving. He wouldn't go be a GM somewhere else. But what you could always think of, like with Sam, is at some point, some higher level organization is going to realize that he could be the right guy for him. As far as like, I would want him. I mentioned this in joking in a text message. He'd be a better commissioner of the NBA than Adam Silver is.
Yeah, he would.
You know, like the whole like intro to his preseason press conference was like a better celebration of the NBA than anything Adam Silver has been able to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, that's the only thing that would ever concern me, or it's like at some point somebody convinces him to take over some giant organization. But I foresee him being part of this organization in leadership until he retires, which is truly the kind of glue that keeps it all together and moving forward. So
I thought maybe he would leave when the Boston job came open.
Yeah, that's if he didn't want that job, then there is no that's what I'm saying. There's no lateral move for a better environment, place, opportunity. There's no lateral move that makes sense for him. What makes sense for him, like I said, would be some sort of upward move to a level of sports leadership that would be just like kind of the top of the ladder kind of thing. And I don't have off the top of my head what that would be for somebody like him. And he also just may be content doing what he's doing. Like he has a pretty awesome opportunity to serve underneath just one of the best ownership groups, you know, hands off, and in a city that, for all of Oklahoma City's kind of deficiencies, like there's a lot of things that could be beneficial about being here too. Like you can exist in relative anonymity if you want to. In most
go to your kids' flag football games and not worry
do all
about
that
it.
stuff. Not to mention like what you make here. Like I spend time on one of my weird things I do before I go to bed is I go on Zillow and I look at houses in other cities. I mean, your dollar is going to go, listen, we have a state income tax, sure, unlike Texas, but your dollar is going to go about 4 times further when it comes to houses and experiences here in Oklahoma than anywhere else. And so there are some benefits. They feel like lame ones, but nonetheless, it's not like
he's not lame.
He's been here for long enough where he's not trying to itch to get out of here because he's been here for 20 years. He's been part of this organization for 20 years, 18 in Oklahoma City. I mean, at this point, he probably would have jumped ship at some point.
You would think. You would think. At some point, he won't be the GM of the team. That'll be a thing.
Yeah,
but
he's still, I don't know how he'll ever let go.
That's also a part of like
personality
and everything.
Just to be like part of the ownership group or like the whatever head of some made up position, you know, that gets him out of the direct GM roles. He'll still be like sitting in his office, bringing in that GM and being like, all right, let me tell you what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the best, man.
Yeah, he's great. All right, let's take a break. I want to say hi to Paxton before we get out of here for this break, if he's still on there. Hope everybody's doing great. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to answer some Twitter questions. And we're back after that quick break. Before we get to TQs, I need to tell you about my good friends over at Bob Moore Kia. This is the Kia Carnival that I'm driving right now. It's a beautiful minivan. It's a hybrid, which has been great for the gas mileage. You can go test drive one today. Go to Bob Moore Kia. over off of Northwest Expressway in between Council and Rockwell. Right now, you can get the 2025 K4 GT Line Turbo. Sale price $28,495 with $3,365 off MSRP. You get the Kia K4 GT line. Really kind of want to get myself into one of these K4s or K5s. They're very cool. You can get it for $23,495. Also, the Sorrento X-Line EX, 0% for 48 months. Stop in, tell them Down to Dunk sent you. It's a great dealership, and we love Bob Moore Kia here at Down to Dunk. So please support the people that support us. Go check out Bob Moore Kia. All right. I don't have the drop for Twitter questions. First question comes from Pepsi at Pepsi United. If J-Dub's wrist is still swollen, shouldn't he be out until it's fully recovered? Did anyone from the team address what the plan is with this issue? Mark talked about it pregame last night and said that he is on track. He's on the right path. I don't know. Like they're not going to give us like the full plan of what they're doing, but I trust that they're not going to jump the gun with it. Like there's no reason to do that. They're going to let him play when he's ready to play. And it could be as soon as the Houston game, or it could be after. I don't know exactly. I mean, Sam talked about saying that he would be ready for the regular season whenever he had the surgery. And, I have not heard otherwise. Yes, I've seen the wrist. It looks swollen when I saw it, but like things can change quickly. And so I don't know. I assume he'll play night one. If he doesn't play night one, then I don't think it'll be too long after that. He in practice, like the after practice shooting, he will shoot with his right wrist some. So we'll see. We'll see where he's at. I'm not worried about it. If he doesn't play in the first 2 weeks of the season, I don't think it's going to kill the Thunder.
No, no, it's a bummer for us just for the
it
fun.
Is.
But
yeah, no question. But we also just don't know. We also just don't know yet.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, they could have the full complement of players game one.
Yeah,
which would be. Yeah, I mean, what did Sam said in the preseason conference, or the press conference? He was like, "Yeah, most of our lineup played the total of 13 games all season.
It's 11 games.
Yeah, so it's the
playoff lineup.
Like if they start with iHeart, Chet, Dub, Dort, and Shea, game one, they played 11 games last year together. Because iHeart, is that right? Yeah, iHeart wasn't playing.
Yeah, he had broken his wrist, and so he was out.
I think Jay Will was out too.
Jay Will was out with a hamstring injury.
So it was Chet, and then their backup was just a whole collection of small guys.
Yep.
That's what I noticed about Brooks Barnheiser. I was like, oh yeah, they're going to make him guard some fives unquestionably during the season.
There's no doubt. There is no doubt they're going to ask Brooksy to do that.
Yeah.
And he will not say no.
No.
He will. Yeah. He's fun, man. I hope it works out. I hope that he can figure out how to shoot. He certainly has this in-between game that is interesting. But he doesn't usually the in-between game is reserved for guys that have the ball in their hands, and so it's hard to necessarily fit him in that way. But I hope it works. He's a guy that not only the way he plays on the court, but I think a lot of who he is as a person aligns with a lot of people in OKC as well. Yeah. And so I do think he is somebody that if he can be good enough offensively and continue to get better defensively, I think he's somebody that could be here for a long time.
I was thinking about him, I just always think about the human element with a guy like Brooks Barnheiser, where he's I'm there. I mean, he got real time with the starters last night.
Yeah.
And I'm just, is there any part of him that's just going oh, Shea, the MVP just threw this ball to me. Don't screw up. And because there's a few times where it was kind of a hot potatoes where it's give it right back to him. Pass it right back to him. move around,
Mhm.
throw it to somebody else, and it's like, and that's part of just his growth and figuring out, being comfortable. And this team is really good at giving people, like Ousmane Dieng is the prime example of this, of giving people a really long runway to
Yep.
figure out how they can play alongside these guys. And so, and I don't, Brooks is not the number 11 pick in the NBA draft. And so obviously his will be a little bit different, but nonetheless, we'll see a lot different. He'll have a really different season at the end of the season than he does at the beginning, But it feels like the way they're using him is that there's already kind of a built-in trust, at least with the effort that he brings on the defensive end, which is a big deal to Mark.
Yeah, no question. At Elephant King asks, "Is this Giannis stuff anything?" Yeah, it's something. I think that Giannis is slowly cracking the door open in an effort to leave in like the most courteous way possible. Just because, I mean, the writing's on the wall. Like, look at the roster. They have no assets. The roster stinks. This is the worst the roster has ever been for Giannis. He wants to win. He wants to win in the NBA, and the Bucks have provided no path for that in the next several years. So yeah, I mean, I think he has to leave almost. I know he doesn't want to.
Isn't the news primarily the Knicks now, where he's like, I have one suitor I want to go to? And you could cobble together, if you're the Knicks, you could cobble together a deal to them that would actually also kind of save the Bucks a little bit in their future. Like, you've got, I think Cat would have to be a part of that, I think, is what I've always heard. And then, probably some picks and some, I don't know enough of the Knicks rosters to figure out what they could do, but you could start getting some better assets and maybe recapture their future and still be able to be, crap, with Cat in the East, you still could be fairly competitive, I would think.
Yeah.
Not that you want to be, but
yeah, I don't know what they would want necessarily back, but I think that the Knicks would probably happen if that's what he wants.
Yeah, I would almost put money on it by the time the trade deadline goes, if not earlier, that Giannis is on the Knicks. And it's hard for the Bucks. Like, I know we would struggle with it too. Be like, well, we just got to concede that this era is over. But man, you've got to start doing your best to recoup a potential eventual next era of your team.
Yeah.
And if he's kind of starting to verbalize that he's ready to explore going somewhere else, like, dictate the terms. Don't let him dictate the terms. And he's trying to help you out by doing that. Like, let's have these conversations now so that you're not stuck when I finally can not be when I have free agency. You can get something for me now or nothing for me later, kind of thing. So
yeah, they could trade like OG and Josh Hart and then like every pick imaginable. Like, that's what if I'm the Knicks, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have Brunson, Cat, and Giannis.
Yeah.
I'm not. And I guess you have Mikhail in that situation too. Like, that's the team that I want. And I know Josh Hart's important to that Knicks team, but Giannis would be a little bit more important. That's what I would do if I'm them. Is that's the deal that I just kind of stick to. And like, they can have Mikhail or they can have OG. I think both would work. But that's the direction that I would go in. I would want to keep Cat. I just don't think. I don't know where that other team gets you. Just because you need a shooting big with Giannis to maximize who he is.
Yeah, kind of the Brooks Lopez role.
Yeah.
Which he's on the Clippers, right? Is he on the Clippers?
He's on the Clippers, yeah. Yeah.
I think that team is going to be the team every single time I see their box score, I'm like, they're on the Clippers?
I know.
Know that.
It's like every old good player is on the Clippers.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah. Chris Paul.
Yep. CP3 gets back right in time for the next Clippers scandal. It's amazing.
What a lucky guy.
What a great guy. I am Kev Bot. If you could only see OKC play one team in person this season, which team would you choose?
I mean, it's hard not to say the Nuggets.
Yeah.
just for the reality, I think that's probably the hardest team they'll play.
Yep.
Like that's their biggest. I think that's their biggest obstacle to get to the championship. But you also got to think of like who do you want to see before they finish their career? So I like a Warriors would be a lot of fun because
Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, LeBron.
Lakers. Yeah, LeBron. Watching LeBron play would be a big deal.
Even the Rockets. The Rockets game provides a lot of that because, like, and I'm sure if you live in Oklahoma City, you've probably seen Kevin play. But like seeing Durant play, seeing Durant have to watch the Thunder get their rings, like there's so many good things about that game in particular.
Yeah,
that would be really fun to be at.
Which I haven't been watching. Are they running Reed as their point guard right now?
Yeah, he was with Kevin. Has only played one game, and he was in the starting lineup with them.
Okay,
so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there defensively. He just is not a rocket, and so I wonder how that works.
Well, and losing Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, as much as Dylan Brooks is a pain in the rear end for everybody, like he's at least part of their kind of.
He's a proven regular season winner,
and he does what MA wants. He does what the Rockets are trying to do, and really well. And I know I'm in Thompson's who they're going to put a lot of expectations on his development this year, but I don't know. I am intrigued. That would be probably, especially the experience. That's the game you want to go to. You know, the rest of it, it's like every other season. I would just try to figure out either narratives or teams, and to see a Curry or a LeBron in the last, at least 2, 3, 4 years of their career would be pretty special.
Zach Deeg, if you could magically add 4 inches to any player's height, who would you choose? And listen, Zach, you're really lucky that Elman and Taylor aren't on this pod right now. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go any further, but you're just a lucky guy.
Is there any party that's like? I mean, the easy answer is like a J-Dub.
Shea.
Yeah. All of a sudden, they're 7 foot taller or whatever.
If Shea was 6'10", that would be pretty sick. A 6'10" Shea would be
unstoppable,
unreal. Or just like, or Chet. Like make him into Wemby.
Yeah,
it's like now he's taller than Wemby. What now?
Yeah.
What do you have now?
Or you could go with I don't know.
God, you know what would be terrifying is a 6'8" Dort.
Yeah, that's the other one I was going to say. Honestly, all of them would be a blast to have looking that way. iHeart. iHeart would just turn in. I mean, geez.
It might destroy iHeart's game. He might get too slow.
Yeah, if they just maintain all of their physical attributes right now as is, but just add 4 inches. And iHeart that's like 7'4", 5.
Yeah, that would be so sick.
Big. He's so big.
Yeah, I might choose Chet.
Yeah.
I might choose Chet.
What would that make J Will? Is J Will 6'8"?
Yeah, he's like 6'8".
If J Will was 7, or I guess it would have put it straight up 7 foot.
That would change a lot for him in his career.
For him, he would go be a starting big anywhere he wanted to go.
He could, he would, yes, no question. And I wouldn't give that to him because I wouldn't want that. I want him to stay here.
Although he's too thin, man. Come on, dude.
He's too thin.
Too thin. I don't know. He just looks like a different man out there.
He looks super different on media day. He looks super different. I
don't want him to ever leave. Don't ever leave.
No, I mean, I need to post his full interview soon, but like the full interview was one of the more fun interviews I've ever done with anybody. He's just the best. That guy's the freaking best. Really anybody would be great. 6'10" Alex Caruso would be cool. That'd be terrifying.
It would be a problem for most people.
Yeah, that would be a huge problem. Fun question about a reality that can't exist. I guess they could do the surgery in the off season, where people just get
add bone to their femurs or something.
Yeah. That's a thing to do in life. All right, next question. Let's see. Oh, okay. From Moverholt 31, I think it was the chat. Who's going to be the surprise team from the East, similar to the Pacers from last year? I think the popular answer for this is Atlanta.
Magic? Oh, okay, yeah, Atlanta.
Atlanta is a popular answer. Yeah, Orlando could be one. Although I think like Orlando's kind of expected to get there.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think Atlanta is like the one that could sneak up and do damage. So trying to think who else. I mean, there's like an outside chance of Detroit becoming that, depending on what Cade does this year. I think that's not impossible.
They did take some great steps, they were very different last year. It was a lot of fun to watch them kind of develop in real time. So that could be it. I just been thinking like the Pacers had to have that like unique kind of mix of, they just played a different brand where all of a sudden it just became really hard to beat them. I could see Trae Young having a kind of Tyrese Halliburton off the postseason kind of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe you could say the same thing about Cade, or you could say this, whatever, but it just feels more like the Hawks kind of fit that specific thing.
And goodness, it better be the Knicks or Cavs, or else there's going to be riots.
As far as like, if you're going to do it, this is it. Like, this is it. Because if you're the Cavs and you don't make it, it's like you're going to have to dismantle or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we'll do one more question from at Bowler Jack. Where's your favorite seat in the lower and upper sections of the arena?
Ideally, it's all the seats I can't afford. I would love a middle of the, like I want center court on the floor if I can, but
that would be nice.
I'll take center court. My buddy Justin's got really good seats, and his are kind of right about the center of the court, probably midway up the lower bowl.
Yeah,
those are fantastic seats. I like
great seats.
I'm at the point in my life where I also really appreciate aisle seats.
Yeah,
I'm a big aisle seat guy where I can just. And here's the deal: you're giving up the fact that like you're gonna have to get up and down 25 times because somebody's gonna get out of the row and get back in. And you know what? I'd rather have that to where I can be the one that's not interrupting somebody to get through.
Yeah.
Throughout the game. So that's probably my go-to. Like we bought tickets. My mom wants to take us all on the Christmas Day game, and so we're going to the Christmas Day game. And like when I was looking for tickets, we're in the 200 section maybe. Anyway, but we were just looking for like we need 5 seats on, and I'm like on the aisle.
Yeah.
And by the time I got on there, they still had some that were not aftermarket. So I was like,
oh, nice.
All right, let's do this. Yeah.
Sick. I also like if you're going up in Loud City, center court, that first row is like a really good seat.
Yep.
Because it's one of the few seats if you're watching for like what's happening on the court.
Yep.
Like tactically, it's probably the best seat to sit in.
And you're not too far away where you feel like you're gonna have vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was one of the Warriors game, the Melo PG year. I got my son and I went, and our backs were at like genuinely. I could put my elbow on the.
Oh, I've sat there.
I was like,
I've sat there many times.
About as far as you can go back, and which is, hey, listen, for that game, I was like, get me in the arena. Don't care.
Yeah,
like, let's go. And
for real.
But that one, it is. You like get up there, and you still see the court. Like it's really fun to be in the arena. And but I've got a buddy. I'm pretty sure a buddy of mine has almost those exact tickets you're talking about.
Yeah,
and his he can like hang over. Balcony, or like the overhang a little bit, but he also likes it because there's nobody in front of you, so you have like a little more wiggle room in front. So
those are great seats. Obviously I've sat courtside a couple times, and it is an incredible experience. Shout out to my friend Mike Beckham, like allowing me to do that. It is truly different because even sitting at the scores table is unbelievable. Sitting there for that game 5 of the Nuggets series was like one of the coolest experiences of my life. But it's even different. It's at like a different level, like sitting on the court, just because like the guys are right there.
Yeah.
Like he has these seats where they're like in the corner, and so there's like guys running to that spot, and you can like feel like their steps like as they run to that spot. It's unreal.
I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to do this thing called seat fillers.
Yes.
So there's some expectation that you have to have like every seat on the baseline or some area needs to be filled. And there's I've got this. I'll see if I can find it. You can throw it up there. But I have this picture. This was, 14 years ago, but we did this. So we bought the cheapest Loud City tickets we could get, and then just like waited to try to get. And the hard part is like, if the people that they're actually seats belong to show up, you have to boot people. Like, you have to like run around. And one of the guys that was really good at it, what he would do is he would go kind of like meander over to one of the hallways that he could just kind of hang out and hide for a little while.
Yeah.
And then he would wait and see if other seats came available, and then he would just sneak back over. I'm just such a rule follower that they're like, you got to go. And I just like, just like ran off. But I've got a picture of me like right behind Russ while Russ is shooting a jump shot. Dang. Yeah, it was a Spurs game too, which was real stupid, but I'll see if I can send it to you. So, but yeah, those are you don't get I don't get those regularly. I always joke like if I ever were to win the lottery, which I never will because I don't really play, but if I ever were to win the lottery, there's like 2 or 3 random like things that I would do. It'd be like, if I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anybody that there'd be signs, and the one of them is I would have floor seats at Thunder games.
Yeah. Oh, this is a sick picture. Let me throw it up.
You see me behind there, man?
Yeah, I do. That's so sick.
Wearing that old Daily Thunder James Harden shirt.
Jay, hold on. Everybody's got to see this.
With my Bieber haircut.
Oh, I love it. It's a Bieber haircut. Dude, my kids roast me for my old haircuts. Like we'll just be like sitting there just randomly sometimes, and my kids will just be like, "Dad, like, just want to know like what was up with this haircut from like 2009 or whatever." Okay, here it is.
See me if you're watching on YouTube, I'm in the bottom left there in the orange. It may be a little hard to recognize me, but that's me.
That's the Jay. That's the Jay that I first met, and that I remember most probably from our old days.
So much hair. Didn't know what a beard trimmer was. I just was like, I genuinely could, if you saw me in the wrong context, you'd be like, I think he's homeless.
No. Dude,
I have I have one of my IDs when I first enrolled at UCO where I look back at it and I'm like, what was wrong with me? Why didn't anybody in my life tell me? In my 20s is like when I'm supposed to be like peak, like good looks. And I'm like, oh my Lord.
There was something about that era that does not hold up at all. Because my kids roast me for how I looked then too.
Which is hard because also my son rocks the broccoli haircut or like the alpaca haircut.
Dude,
like,
I know.
Talk to me about haircuts, dude. You're gonna be looking back in 10 years and thinking the same thing.
I know. I really hope that they have some haircuts that don't hold up so that we can.
I had every bad haircut. I had the bowl haircut. I had the butt cut. I did
too. Yeah. I think we've had like the same haircuts through the years.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I had the same long hair that you just kind of let it go.
Yeah, it was
and you just come to the side.
It originated in my world, not just because of Justin Bieber, but then like there was this show about the Hoover, Alabama football team that everybody watched. And anyway, it was like for some reason everybody had that haircut, and I was like, I guess that's what's popular. God, I look so stupid.
Man. I know. I look back, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's like, how did I ever get married?
I know. I tell my wife that. I was like, what did you see in me?
Yeah,
my wife was able to look past to what I could become.
Right? I know. Yeah,
I know underneath there is something normal, apparently.
All right. I'm not miffed and peeved. I'm grateful and blessed. Also, I'm grateful and blessed that we're having this live show next Wednesday night. Join us next Wednesday night. Bold predictions live. I'm going to try to make Luke eat a hot pepper live in front of everybody. So you don't want to miss that. I also am going to try
pepper or a chip.
An actual pepper.
Dude.
This is my first time revealing this. I don't know. Habanero.
Well, the good thing is he doesn't listen to the podcast. So
I know. I'm going to bring some habanero
But
peppers.
he's not a spicy guy, is he?
Oh, no, he's not. I'm going to have to bring some milk for him, too.
Man,
So
I love those. I love a good spicy challenge.
So, yeah, we'll try to do that at the pod. Also, I'm going to try to have the intro done by that pod, and that'd be the first pod that has the new intro on it. There's a few surprises on it that I'm really excited to reveal to you guys. So look forward to that. Please come to the Loom next Wednesday, 7 o'clock is when it'll start. Get there a little early to get a spot. It's not the biggest venue. It's big enough to have a good live pod. That's what I would say. So really looking forward to that. Hope everybody's doing great. And we will talk to you guys again on Monday.